Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we certainly are. So we'll see here if I can use the roll call this morning. And we will do that. Okay, let me see here. As you get your notifications, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. And let me see here if we get everything going that I can use this. 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, here we go. How are you? Let me see. There we go. Okay, I got another device. And Kevin, you're number one on the hit parade this morning, the mayor of the of our private Facebook group. Kevin, how are you? Rosalinda from the Kidneys of Canada, Niagara Falls. Janice from Brampton. There's Brahim. Okay, you guys are making it right to back up to the top. Fran, how are you, Fran, from Orangeville? Francis Marie, Karen, Dennis from Norwich, Kathy from Port Perry, Nick is on from our staff, Lisa, how are you? Frida, Kristen, Janine from BC, British Columbia, Linda, bonjour, St. Jude, Quebec. Where's St. Jude, Quebec, by the way? I'd like to know where it is. You want me to look it up? Linda? Okay. Janice, we love you. Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. There's Wendy from Markham. How are you, Wendy? Linda. And Sherry's from Mississauga. Shauna, Etta, April, Jill, Wanda from, where are you from? Virginia. Sorry, Wanda. It's just because I had Norma right underneath you from Texas. I didn't want to make a mistake there. Francis from Vaughan, Millica from Stouffville, Anna, good morning. Brenda, Nativity, Patricia, good morning. Cheryl from West Virginia. Cheryl, if I could sing, would I ever sing this morning? Bonnie, Little Britain, Andrea, Dan, Susan. Let's see, 2 Susans in a row. Cindy, Sharon from Kansas. And Doug, how are you? Mary from New Brunswick. Oh, Kevin is saying Brahim was ahead of him. Well, too bad, Brahim. I don't know. I only call it the way I see it. Samora. Gabriella from Montreal. Bonjour. Elaine. Rosa from Montreal. Carol from West Virginia. Lisa Marie. Tina. How are you, Tina? Anna. Mary from Gander, Newfoundland. And Judy. Good morning. We love you guys. I know I probably missed you. Is Doc McEwen on with us? I don't know. I always say hello to her because I never see her name and she might be there. Okay. So guys, how are you? We love you dearly. And I just want to, before I get in, there's a couple of new studies out that I wanted to bring to you. And before we do that, I was explaining this the other day, the difference in fuel. Okay, so a lot of this is repetition. But I just like to go over it, especially because we have so many new people that come on every day. Okay? And by the way, if you're new, would you let us know? Okay? In the scroll. And because I'll go over the scroll afterwards. Okay? And just, guys, we love you. Some of you have been on with us for years and some are just joining. And especially when these are turned into podcasts, lots of new folks, and we thank you for that. So much, okay? Now, okay? So I'm explaining fuel the other day to someone, and because in their head, okay, and they were well trained in the field of nutrition. And yet, you almost got to undo a lot of stuff, okay? And because what she was thinking, okay, this is her teaching and her thinking, okay? Carbohydrates are essential, okay? So you have 3 macros: carbs, protein, and fat, okay? Carbs, protein, and fat. And she said, well, you need carbohydrates because here's what she said: it gives you energy. Your brain needs it too. Okay, so it gives you energy. Carbs give you energy. True. Your brain needs it. Not true. And it keeps your meals balanced. Okay, so this is what the 3 things she said to me. Okay, a dietitian. And I said, well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you got that wrong. It gives you energy. Yeah, it does. I mean, if you eat carbs, you're going to get energy from it. But you better use it right away as energy. Otherwise, and it was almost like she didn't know this. Otherwise, it gets stored. You need to use that energy right away. Otherwise, it gets stored. So when you eat bread, pasta, rice, cereals, sugar, sweets, pastries, muffins, bagels, when you drink juice, okay? Yeah, you get energy. Energy's created. Headquarters said, give me 25% of that. And you think, well, your brain needs carbs. Your brain doesn't need carbs. It doesn't need 1 carbohydrate. Okay? It doesn't. So, it fuels the brain. No, it fuels the brain all right, but it gives it the wrong fuel. So, what I was explaining to her is this storage mechanism. Did you not know this? Sugar, carbs are turned to sugar, what? Rapidly. Okay, so you have a piece of bread, especially today's bread. It's not, you make your own sourdough bread or whatever. Well, good for you. Okay, and I mean it. It's a lot better. There's a lot more nutrients in it. But let's just talk about bread in general. Okay? Man shall not live by bread alone. Why? Okay? Why? Well, because bread, you're eating a muffin. Dr. Martin, it's whole wheat. It's it's carrot muffin. I know, but it's just sugar molecules holding hands. And we live in a world today where 93%, hey, I didn't make that up, guys. That doesn't come from me at the Doctor Is In podcast. That comes from statistics. 93% of the population has some form of metabolic syndrome. Metabolic, how the body uses energy, how the body breaks food down. That's metabolic. 93% of the population have trouble breaking food down properly. Why? Because they eat the wrong food. You're not meant to live on carbohydrates. As a matter of fact, your body does better when you lower them to almost nothing. Okay? So when you eat eggs, are there carbs in eggs? Maybe 1. It's protein and fat. In nature, the way God gave you food, Okay? In nature, it's fat and protein combined. A donut is fat and carbohydrates combined. When you put fat with a carbohydrate, now you got trouble. Now you have trouble. Okay? Because your body, again, going back to the principle of fuel, sugar left unattended in your bloodstream is extremely toxic. You have to just understand that. Your body does everything in its capacity to get sugar out of the bloodstream. So you guys know this, but the world doesn't know this. You guys know this, but doctors don't know this. You guys know this, but dietitians don't know this. Even nutritionists. What? Well, they don't know this. What don't they know? Sugar is toxic. Your body has an ability to get rid of sugar. It doesn't want to let it stay in your bloodstream. It's in a no parking zone. Your blood vessels are destroyed rapidly by sugar. So your body is dedicated. You have a pancreas. It's dedicated to lowering your blood sugar. Why are we having so much trouble in our health today? The number one reason, not the environment. It's a reason, but it's not the number one reason. The number one reason we have all the chronic disease that we have. Let me name them for you. Heart disease, number one. Yeah, 100 years ago. 100, you don't have to go back far. People died 100 years ago, okay? We've made advancements. Antibiotics save people's lives. Okay? They do. People died 100 years ago. They died of infection, usually. They didn't die of heart disease. It was so rare that when President Eisenhower had a heart attack in the playing golf in the sand trap in I can't remember, it's 55 or whatever. I was just a little boy. They said, well, a heart attack. It shocked the nation. You read about it, it's almost comical because it's so prevalent today. The number one killer is heart disease. And by the way, President Eisenhower, because of his heart attack, one man, and I talk about this in Sun, Steak, and Steel, one man changed the world. Ancel Keys. He changed the world because he said, oh, I know why President Eisenhower had a heart attack. Cholesterol. Ancel Keys was put on the front page of Time magazine. Cholesterol. He had a theory. Apparently he repented in sackcloth and ashes on his deathbed. Said I was wrong about that. But he started the whole movement towards cholesterol. The whole movement of cholesterol started with one man. And he hooked up with the cereal companies. You want to know why they got a heart on the box? Get a box of Cheerios or whatever and they got a heart on the box? Kellogg's? Well, Dr. Kellogg's, he was in on it too. And his minions. The cholesterol hoax. And ever since, we haven't even made a dent in heart disease. it's 100 times worse than it ever was. Right? Heart disease was rare 100 years ago. Now it's the number one killer. Why? Why? I'm a why guy. If you have an enormous amount of higher and higher amounts of heart disease compared to what we used to, why? It can't be cholesterol. If it was cholesterol, we would have fixed it. Not cholesterol. Cholesterol's not the bad guy. Cholesterol's your friend. Now just try and change your cardiologist's mind about that. Holy moly. They just, like, it's unbelievable. They're so ingrained, you just can't change it. And people, they're just lay people. You want to have a heart attack, says your doctor or your cardiologist? Well, then you listen to me, sir or madam or whatever. You need to lower your cholesterol. And everybody go, you're not a doctor. People are not doctors. They go, well, they told me if I don't lower my cholesterol, I'm going to have a heart attack. Well, that scares the living life out of you. You're not a doctor. So heart disease is through the roof. Cancer, worse than ever. And there's a new study. I want to bring it to you. I won't do it today. But there's a new study on the proliferation of cancer, the cancer rates and insulin. It's amazing. New study out. I like it. I loved it. I flagged it. Okay, we'll talk about that, I promise, this week. Okay, we'll get into it. Okay, why is cancer a metabolic disease? Okay, energy, remember, metabolism, energy, food. Okay, why is cancer a food cancer? Not genetics. It's not genetics. It's food. Heart disease. Food. Metabolism. We're burning the wrong fuel. Okay? Heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer. It's so prevalent in our society today. Again, I go, why? Look, guys, I've been around the sun a lot of years. It's amazing what I've seen in my lifetime. I'm a very observant guy, okay? I watch, okay? You know, remember we do that with I watch. And I watch society. I watch the changes. I'm observant. I look and I go, what in the H happened to us? Why? Well, you were never meant to eat 200 pounds of sugar a year, but that's what Canadians and Americans are doing. Dump truck load. And then you add seed oils, all of the processed foods, full of sugar and full of bad oil. Oil that was made for your car. What does that do? Well, again, it comes back to energy. Your body, if you can't use a carbohydrate right away, it's stored as fat. And the favored parking spot, it should be your muscles. But if you don't have enough, guess what happens? It's stored in your liver. The Costco parking lot. When Costco is open, the Costco parking lot is always full. If you insist on eating carbohydrates, your liver will be full of carbs? No. Okay? You eat carbs. You're having a piece of bread. Bread. bread, pasta, noodles, right? Pizza. Kids live on pizza. And their livers are stuffed up. With what? Fat. Pizza, carb, mostly, right? Pizza, cereal. It ends up in your liver as fat. That's a big problem. So I had to explain fuel. When you eat protein, it don't end up in your liver. When you eat fat and protein, an egg, meat, dairy, fat, and protein. Like, unless you're drinking milk, which I don't want you to do, you have a little bit of lactose. There's sugar in milk, but you know what I mean? I don't even want you drinking that stuff. You drink mummy's milk when you're a baby, and then you drink water. And when you get old enough, drink coffee. Water, coffee. Okay, you can have a tea. Don't drink juice. You can have Dr. Martin's Perfect Smoothie with dairy or coconut milk. Fat. A fatty milk. So when you have a cow in the backyard and you want to drink its milk, okay, go for it. I just don't want you to go to the grocery store and buy milk. So I had to explain this whole fuel thing. And then you know me, I always use illustrations. So I said, okay, you're having a piece of steak. Pretend you're a wood stove. Okay, fuel. You want to heat your home, but you're heating it with wood. You got a wood stove. You got a fireplace. What do you want? You want paper on there? You want twigs? Or do you want a log? To the dietitian, I'm saying this. Well, she said, a log? Yeah. I said, what's a log? An egg. An egg is a log. Bread is paper. Pizza is paper. Yeah, you'll get fuel. It's not going to last long. And then it's going to be stored as fat. Do you wonder why? Go look at the population. You and I, we should do this one day and we'll do a thing, okay? We'll do a podcast. You and I will go to the mall, any mall in North America, and watch people. Look at them. What's changed? Why are we so big? I saw a skinny person yesterday or the day, I see it every day. Skinny legs and a pot belly. I mean, you never used to see that before. And what that is, again, it's storage. If they have a pot belly, you know their liver is full of fat. And then when the liver is full, it starts making more fat. Most people have an unlimited capacity to make fat cells. Unlimited. It'll put it everywhere. As a matter of fact, there was someone in the family, distant cousin or whatever. I found out, was it yesterday or the day before, that they were diabetic. This person is skinny. And doc, they're diabetic. I said, yeah, skinny fat. What? They're skinny. That's what they said to me. I said, skinny fat. And they go, what? Skinny fat? I said, if you went on the inside and you went around the organs like the pancreas and the liver and around the bowel, they got a lot of fat there. You just can't see it. It's called visceral fat. How do you get visceral fat? When you eat too many carbohydrates. You don't get visceral fat from eating steak. You don't get any of that. Because insulin, oh, and you should see the new study on cancer. Insulin is a fat storing hormone. And it all comes down to the choice of food that you make. It all comes down to that. It's the one thing, you can't control everything in life. You could be the healthiest person in the universe, walk across the street and get hit by a bus. You can't control everything. Oh, doc, I'm not dying. I eat well. You're going to die. It's just stats. 1 out of every 1. It's just, okay, we're going to break down. We're going to age, all of us. We just try not to do it too quick. And it's one thing you can control is what you put in your mouth every day. You got to understand fuel. And your body, if it never had another carbohydrate, am I saying to do that? No, I'm not saying it, so don't come after me. Okay? Because sometimes people say, Dr. Martin, you're a carnivore. No, I'm not. A carnivore only eats meat. That's a carnivore. Okay? I don't do that to people. Now, if you want to do that, go for it. But I had 100,000 patients over my 50 years in practice between my son and I. I had to deal with people. And I always said this, okay? I'm giving you a recipe for success, not a recipe for failure. A recipe for failure is saying, you know what? You can never have another 1 ounce of sugar. Okay, you're diabetic, you should never have sugar. Ever. I know. But what if, doc, it's my birthday and I had a little wee piece of cake? Well, don't go shoot yourself. Just understand that you and carbs don't get along. If you're a diabetic, you have an allergy to carbs. And if you're in the metabolic syndrome, 93% of the population is, they really don't do well. I tell this to patients all the time. All the time. I look at their blood work and their A1C is elevated. Their triglycerides are elevated. Their HDL is down. Triglycerides up, HDL down. I said, listen, here's one tip. Oh, you got a tip for me, doc? Yeah, I got a tip. You and carbs don't get along. Stop. Okay? So just, if you get that, and they go, you know what? After they've done the reset, they go, you know what, doc? You were right. I have pasta. I don't feel good. I like it, but it don't like me. Yeah, I said, yeah. I married an Italian girl. But I always gave a recipe for success. I wanted people to do it. and then form new habits. You know how many hundreds of men over the years come into the office? I said, you're dehydrated. Your blood is like molasses. You know, men, they're clueless. Not all men, but a lot of them. Like health and men, women and health, they're very interested. Men, why are you here, my wife? What's wrong? Nothing. Well, look at your blood work. It's all bad. Ooh, I'm all right. No, you're not. You're going to have a heart attack. So listen, Larry. Okay? I used to say, Larry, listen. Okay. Okay? Start drinking water. I hate water. I said, I didn't say you had to like it. I said, start drinking water, and in 2 or 3 weeks, you'll thank me later. You'll thank me. What? Drink water. You got blood like molasses. It's thick. You're going to have a stroke or a heart attack. Just from dehydration. Do you hear me? Anyway. Okay. I thought I was going to get into a few studies, but I had to talk about fuel just because I got so so tired of listening to nonsense. And anyways, I wanted to educate a very lovely person. It was surprising they didn't even know this. What planet are you on? Okay, guys, okay, Q&A Friday, okay? So send your questions in to Q&A Friday and to info@martinclinic.com, info@martinclinic.com. Tell everyone about the Doctor Is In podcast. We're going to be making an announcement very shortly on a new book that Tony Jr. and I have written. I tell you, I think it's our greatest book. I really do. Okay? We're gonna make an announcement about that very quickly. Okay? So, guys, we love you. I say that and I mean it. I mean it. We love you dearly. Greatest and smartest audience in the world. Talk to you soon.